Shalom and welcome. My name is Rabbi Yitzchak Shapira and I'm the founding rabbi of Ahavat Ami Ministries. Ahavat Ami in Hebrew means for the love of my people. We are a Jewish and Israeli organization that specifically deals with the restoration of the Jewish people to the Jewish Messiah. You might ask, who is the Jewish Messiah? His name was and he still is today Yeshua, which literally means Adonai saves, or the Lord saves. On August 1st, 2013, I have released a book after work of over 15 years titled The Return of the Kosher Pig. In this book, I reconciled Yeshua, or Jesus in English, back to Judaism. Now, as expected, some of the members of organizations such as Jews for Judaism took this book as a personal attack against Judaism, sending me emails and notes accusing me of being anti-Semitic and anti-Jewish and anti-Israel. Well, I can tell you today with all honesty, none of this is true. However, a lot of other accusations were brought forward. And after I had made several attempts to reach Rabbi Eli Cohen and Rabbi Israel Blumenthal and resolve things with them peacefully and also publicly, so the truth will be heard, I have offered to have multiple open and public debates with them that were rejected. After all of this attempt failed, I have finally decided to come forward and respond to some of those accusations against ultimately Yeshua himself, and the work, the return of the kosher pig. Before starting addressing those public accusation, let me state clearly and publicly that my heart desire is still, even today, to reason with the members of Jews for Judaism, or any Orthodox Jew, any observant Jew who watches this tape now. We would like to hear from you. We would like to hear your feedback. If you truly seek the truth, not for the sake of arguing, but for the sake of the truth, we would love to dialogue with you. You can contact us throughout this program. You will see our contact information at the bottom of your screen. Our heart desire is not to discredit or to slander Rabbi Israel Blumenthal or any members of Jews for Judaism. Simply as Isaiah say, come now, let us reason together about the identity of the Jewish Messiah. One of the major accusations that came forward against the book had to do with translation, with Hebrew translated into English. And Rabbi Israel Blumenthal wrote to me specifically the following accusation. Let us take a look at the very first accusation that was brought forward, and it's read the following. On page 191, Shapira presents a translation of Metzudat David. In the translation, he translates a verse from the Bible. Shapira renders Joel 2:2 as if it says, as blackness spreads upon the mountains, when in fact it's read, as dawn spreads upon the mountains. Well, let us stop there for a moment and declare publicly that any mistranslation of the Hebrew Bible is a serious offense. We must not take lightly mistranslation of the Hebrew Bible. Throughout this presentation, Rabbi Israel Blumenthal suggested that I have mistranslated the Hebrew Bible over and over. But in this particular case, specifically in Joel 2:2, he stated that I simply mistranslated the words. So there are two objections we must deal with. Number one, have I mistranslated Joel 2:2? Secondly, have I mistranslated Metzudat David, the commentary on Malachi 3:20? We're going to deal with both of them together, because in Malachi 3:20, the commentary on this verse from Metzudat David refer to Joel 2:2. So I think the first thing we need to do is to look specifically at Joel 2:2. And let us look at the passage in Joel 2:2 and let us see what it states. It says the following: a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, As blackness spreads upon the mountain, a great people and mighty, there had not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after them, even to the years of many generations. Let's stay there for a minute and look at the Hebrew. The Hebrew word that is using the textual meaning there is the word keshachar, which translated as blackness. The same Hebrew word as blackness or keshachar can truly mean as dawn. The Hebrew word have dual meaning. It can mean shachar or dawn. So let's talk through this for a moment. Have I mistranslated this verse from Joel 2:2? As I just showed you, the answer is absolutely no, and this is a figment of Rabbi Blumenthal imagination. I have just translated it through the JPS, which is the Jewish Publication Society, the 1917 edition. I have made the point clearly in the book that all of my translations are coming straight from this precious resource, the JPS 1917 edition. In reality, the root letters of the word there for blackness or dawn is the letters Shin, Chet, Resh, which can mean dawn, as Rashi, for instance, says it's referred to dawn. But the JPS translation tells us that it's literally speaking of blackness. For a rabbi to make a statement that I have somehow manipulated Joel 2:2 or mistranslated to fit my agenda is simply false. I have done no such thing, and this objection is false objection, and I want us to acknowledge the fact that the JPS 1917 edition clearly states as blackness, and that is not an incorrect translation. Well, what's about Metzudot? What about the commentary of Malachi 3:20? Let us turn very quickly to Malachi 3:20 and let us look together at this passage that this is a commentary on Malachi 3:20 from the Metzudot, and it says there, during the sunrise of the Sun of Righteousness, there will be healing and delight, or in Hebrew it's called ta'anug, okay? There will be oneg, okay? And it will resemble the spreading of the wings, as it is written in Joel 2:2, as blackness spreads upon the mountains. You see, in the commentary of Metzudot, it's actually referring to Joel 2:2. I have translated Metzudot from the Hebrew language into English, and when it comes to Joel 2:2, I have used the JPS 1917 edition. I have not made any mistranslation. As a matter of fact, let us look again real quickly at this translation. It says there in the particular translation, it's used the word there in the Hebrew that in this sunrise, the Sun of Righteousness will bring us healing and delight. Let us talk for a moment about the deeper meaning of this verse. What is it talking about? Delight. The word delight there in the Hebrew language comes from the Hebrew word ta'anug. If you take the word and you flip the letters of the word ta'anug, oneg, you actually get the word nega. Nega literally means affliction. Okay? It's interesting that Isaiah 53 tells us that the Messiah will be called Nagua, which is the opposite of the word oneg. He will be nagua, will be afflicted. It is almost seems by the rabbinical commentaries that by his nega, by his affliction, he will bring delight into us, to all of us. Matter of fact, it says that by his light we will be healed, by this great light. Okay? Now, how do we know that this verse is messianic anywhere? See, Rabbi Blumenthal tried to go around and suggest that by mistranslation that doesn't exist, somehow this is not a messianic verse. But this is not true. This is clearly a messianic verse. Let us look at an article that was written in kaduri.net. Let us go there quickly and look at what Rabbi Tivon from kaduri.net had to say on this verse. He says, "But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in its wing. The concealed light will be seen in all the corners of the earth to heal us." It says in Hebrew, they will see him, the Hebrew word here, misof ha'olam. We will see him everywhere. We will see him in Africa, in China, in Japan, in Israel, in North America, and South America. And he will be the healer. Rabbi Tivon continue on to tell us who is this concealed light in the article, and he's saying the concealed light is the spirit of Mashiach. It's a representation of Mashiach. Malachi 3:20, beloved, speak about the Messiah who will heal us. And matter of fact, the word there in Hebrew, or in Aramaic, Nehora, is one of the names of the Mashiach. There is no mistranslation here, and the attempt of Rabbi Blumenthal to deviate even from the meaning is missing the point. Number one, this is a great light that will be seen by all, and this is the Mashiach. Number two, there is no mistranslation of the words here. The words exactly mean as they said. Just because Rashi says that it's to be translated like that, it doesn't mean that all of Judaism have to be translated in such a way. As a matter of fact, let me show you the usage of the word shachar in other places in the Hebrew Tanakh to make my point even clearer. Let us look together at a few examples from the Hebrew Bible. In Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20, it says this, "For instruction and for testimony, surely they will speak according to this word wherein," and the Hebrew word there is shachar, but in English it's translated by the JPS. This is not my translation, it's the JPS. "There is no light." Rabbi Blumenthal tried to suggest that the word shachar always have to mean dawn. But clearly it does not have to mean dawn, because in this translation, the word der shachar does not mean dawn, it means there is no light. What is the opposite of light? It is darkness, it is blackness. The translation is absolutely correct. Let's look at a few other examples. In Isaiah 14:12, it says, "How are you falling from heaven, O day star, son of the morning? How are you cut down from the ground, that these cast lots over the nations?" The name of this heavenly being that falling from heaven is called Son of the Morning, Hillel ben Shachar. Again, the word Shachar here does not mean dawn. It does not mean dawn. Or let's look at Amos 4:13, where the word Shachar is used again, but there it's used, "that does make the morning darkness." You see, that's an example where it's actually using it in the way that Rabbi Blumenthal suggests that it will be used, but this is not the exclusive way for the word shachar to use. For Rabbi Blumenthal to suggest that I have mistranslated this verse, after I pointed out to Rabbi Cohen that this is a mistake in his own writing, is not right.